Last year I did almost 8 million in sales, 25 closings.
Consistency and being persistent in anything and confidence is what's going to get you there. What comes first, the chicken or the egg, right? Is that when you surround yourself with other successful people too, you can become successful. Hey, I'm just going to go to this brokerage because they say they do this, or they say they train, or they're really big in the area, they're number one in the area. That doesn't mean that that brokerage is right for you. You know, you have the power to change. Hey everyone, and welcome back to today's episode. So today we have an inspiring story. Gabby, you inspire me. I hope you know that. And your story is really inspiring. So I can't wait to talk about your story a little bit. But here's your journey as a real estate agent and how you built a six-figure business. So, and of course, special guest with me, Gabby Dunaway.
Hello.
All right, Gabby, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So, gosh, I feel like I tell this story all the time, but I have been totally about houses for 2 years, and before that, I was with another company for 4 years and ended up putting my license in escrow. While I was with that company, I did 4 deals in those entire 4 years and just thought I was a really bad agent. I never interviewed other places, so I just went with the first one I talked to and just thought, you know, it's a big name company. I'm going to get all the help I need here. And just realized that real estate maybe wasn't what I thought it was. And so I ended up putting my license in escrow and quitting real estate. I was a bartender for that entire time, and then the year after that as well, before I met Monica, and she convinced me to come in and meet her. She was very persistent, but apparently persistence is key, because I ended up coming in and meeting her, and we chatted, and I started hearing all the things she was saying. I was like, wow, so much of this is what I thought real estate was going to be like when I first started. So I just took the chance, got my license out of escrow, and have never looked back. After 3 or 4 months of being here, I quit bartending, and I've done this full-time ever since. Last year I did almost 8 million in sales, 25 closings, so it was super life-changing meeting you and coming here. So
I just remember, you were a client. You were a client of mine. Yeah. So I had a listing, and here comes Gabby, all shy, not wanting to tell me that you're a real estate agent.
No, it was actually my dad. He kept telling her, like, she's a realtor. I said, stop telling her I'm a realtor. No, I'm not. I tried that. It wasn't for me. And then, of course, he lets that slip, and she's calling me, and I'm kind of ignoring her. I'm really blowing her off a lot. And then she calls him and is like, are you with her? Put her on the phone. Like, she did not care. She was like, you're doing this. I don't know what she saw in me that I didn't see, but I'm glad she saw it, because here I am.
I saw that spark. I saw that spark, and I'm glad I was persistent. And that is key, right? Consistency and being persistent in anything and confidence is what's going to get you there.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that a little today. So let's talk about your first year, or honestly, your first 4 years.
Okay.
Right? So what would you say were the toughest lessons from those first 4 years?
Well, I guess it was more of, I was young, so I got my license at 20. Yeah, I was 20. And I didn't have a big sphere, so I just really didn't know how to grow my business. I would say was the biggest problem, is I didn't know where to find clients. All the ones I had basically fell in my lap. I didn't know that I was supposed to be out here, you know, grinding and looking for the business. I didn't have a whole lot of money at the time, and nobody in my family, none of my friends are buying. I'm only 20, nobody's buying yet, you know. So I was like, I can't afford to buy all this marketing, and I had no idea, like, what direction to go, I would say. So just really no framework on how to actually build business. You know, they told me, here's how to write contracts, and here's how to, you know, actually do the job, but they didn't teach you anything on how to build a business, how to talk to clients, or anything that I say is the more important foundation of this business.
It's kind of like, what comes first, the chicken or the egg, right?
Right.
Does the contract come first, or does the client?
Right. And with all my people now, I tell them they come in all gung-ho, like, teach me how to write a contract. I'm like, for what? Who are you writing a contract for? We're not there. Let's learn how to talk to people. Yeah. Let's learn how to get you business, get you out there in the field doing the work, and when it's time to write a contract, I can teach you that. That's the easy part.
Yeah, because you really thought you were a bad real estate agent. Yeah. Like, you spent 4 years in real estate, sold 4 houses, and you know what? Most people would have given up. So maybe that's what I saw in you.
I did
I'm
give up.
No, but you would have given up after year 2. You stuck in there to year 4. So I'm thinking that's what I saw. I'm like, if she's willing to stick 4 years and only sell 4 houses, I can teach her those skills.
Right.
So then, come on, Gabby. I'm not giving up on you now. Get your
Yes,
license out of escrow. And then what happened? So let's talk about that. Was part of that, was there any daily habits that helped you, or, that consistency to help you move forward, or go from that 4 years to last year? What did you do last year?
Almost 8 million, 25 sales.
25 sales, almost 8 million. So that's a huge difference. It's like going for like under $1 million, right? Mm-hmm. In 4 years.
Right.
To over 8 million in just a single year. Yeah. So what was that? Any daily habits, anything that kind of got you doing that?
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of like what you touched on earlier, consistency was the big thing. I was here, even still having a full-time job in the beginning, I was here Monday, Wednesday, Friday, at a minimum, every single morning for anywhere from probably 3 to 4 hours. I was learning all that I could about how to communicate with people, talk to clients, find the new business, and then spending time actually doing that, making phone calls, trying to connect with people, and then just learning from the people that were here in the office around me.
Yeah, so what I'm hearing is that when you surround yourself with other successful people too, you can become successful.
Oh yeah. When people around you are doing business and being successful, and you can hear the way they talk to people, what they're doing, and we're of a culture here where it's very much like if you have a question or need help, someone's going to help you. It's not a whole lot of that gatekeeping that you see at a lot of brokerages. Mm-hmm. Where they act like you're their competition. We're all here as like kind of more of a family. We're going to help each other grow.
Yeah.
And compete with the other brokerages, not really each other so much.
I agree. Everyone can win. Everyone can definitely win. Okay. So looking back, right, to those first few years and when you first started real estate, what would you change, about your real estate career? If you had to do it all over again, what would you do differently?
Well, I would have joined wherever you were at the time, and that would have definitely helped me. But honestly, I wish that I knew more about that level of like confidence and the communication and being able to go out there and meet new people and turn those people into long-term clients. I would say it's just being able to have a better structure. I probably would have interviewed more places instead of just interviewing one and going with the first place I met. Just because, again, I didn't really get the guidance and knowledge I felt like I needed there that I've gotten here. So I probably would just make sure that I found a better place to start, someone to help me with my framework at least.
And I honestly see that all the time. And I think there's a lot of real estate agents that get into the business and they get out and they actually could have made it. Yeah. They just weren't in the right environment, the right place that's going to help tap into their potential and have them grow. And I think that's really important. So I think you hit it right on the head with interviewing and making sure that you're going to fit. It's not about, hey, I'm just going to go to this brokerage because they say they do this, or they say they train, or they're really big in the area, they're number one in the area. That doesn't mean that brokerage is right for you.
Right.
So it's something to really think about. And if you're struggling at this time as a real estate agent, think about that. Is it you, or is it your environment?
Right. Absolutely. And also not to be afraid to leave. If someone's promising you all these things and you get there and you don't feel like you're receiving what you were promised as far as that training and all the stuff that they tell you they were going to give you, you are not locked in at any place. You can leave at any time. If you're feeling like the place that you chose wasn't the right choice, this isn't like a contract here where you have to stick with them for so many years until you're allowed to leave. Go where you need to be. And don't let your some people feel like a sense of gratitude towards the broker in a way that they feel like even though they're not doing any business, they don't want to leave. But if you're not making money, you can't stay somewhere and keep letting yourself drown.
No, that doesn't make any sense. So what about mindset? Would you talk about kind of the mindset that you had maybe before to when you made that change? Does mindset matter?
Absolutely. Absolutely, for sure. Before I joined here, of course, my mindset as far as real estate was poor, right? Because I failed in my mind at doing this job that I thought I was going to be good at. And so just overall, though, I was more of a negative person. I'm definitely more of inclined to think of a lot of situations negatively automatically. I just probably from some of the life things. But when I joined here, I think we talked so much about it, and I read so many of the books you recommended and things like that, and I just realized that the more positive you are, the more positive people perceive you, and people don't really want to be around negative people. When you're meeting new people and you're trying to convince them to work with you, if you are coming off as a positive, helpful person who can help them with the biggest person of their life, they're going to be more inclined to work with you because people want to be around those kind of people.
You're right.
And then just also being in a place in my life where I was being more successful and being able to grow and expand, I have learned how important it is to be positive, and just it's now like I'm more naturally positive about things. I try to look at the bright side of situations and things like that, and I think it makes all the difference.
Okay, I think that's really powerful, and you hit it right on the head.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm big in manifesting too, right? Like if you want something, manifest it as well. But if you're saying, I can't do it, I'm no good, this isn't going to work, I'll tell you what, it's not going to work.
Yep.
You know, you have the power to change. And something I just want to add to, because I see this all the time, is, you know, I have so many agents that you're working as a bartender, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't matter where you're working, but I have agents all the time working at a department store, working, you know, in a warehouse, wherever, and they're working it and they want to get in real estate so bad, but they keep picking up more hours because they want that steady income. Mm-hmm. Any bets or anything to help them say, when do you say enough is enough, right? I'm just going to quit this job because if I don't focus on real estate full time, I'm never going to get there.
Sure.
So what's your thought on that? And I know it's scary. That is a scary thought, going, hey, I'm going to get away from my 9 to 5, go from, because I did it. I mean, I did it back in the day when I was working Cracker Barrel. I mean, making some good money and, you know, just cut it off. So what would you recommend, or any advice to how to alleviate that part?
Yeah, that's actually a really easy question to answer. I know it's a hard thing and people feel like they struggle, but for me, it was very easy to make the decision to go full time. And I kind of based it on when I get to the point where this job is holding me back from the real estate, that's when I'll kind of know it's time to leave. So I was to the point where the whole time I was at the bar, I was, you know, looking at the other girl like, hey, watch the bar, I'm getting a call. Hey, watch the bar, somebody's calling about a showing. Or somebody wants me to write an offer right now, watch the bar. Like, at that point, me being here is holding me back from making money at the career that I want to build long term.
Yeah.
So it was pretty simple. I also, of course, needed to be set up enough financially, right? So with this business, you have to be good with finances because it's not paid every week. You get paid based on how much you put into it, right? So I was to the point where I knew that I had enough closings lined up, or I had enough hot clients who were going to be closings within the next so long, that if I just took the plunge and quit and focused on what I had and never let my wheels stop turning, never stopping the grind and stopping the business, I'd be fine. And I've never once regretted that decision. From the day I quit, I've never once thought, maybe I shouldn't have done this.
Yeah, I think that is powerful. So before we kind of sign off today, Gabby, what is something like a thought for, or something you can say for struggling agents who people are struggling right now in real estate, they were in that position you were in, you know, got their license, not selling. What is one thing that they can take away today that they can do right now to help turn everything around?
Focus, realign where you're at right now. If you are not where you want to be, start thinking of where you do want to be. Work backwards from that. What steps do you need to start taking to get there? Do you need to change the brokerage you're at? Do you need to change your mindset? Do you need to change your behaviors? There are a lot of things that go into making this business successful. Hard work, determination. You can't be every other day wondering, like, second guessing if you should leave a full-time job, or what should I be doing? Should I leave this brokerage? Is it holding me back? But I do feel like they kind of, you know, gave me a lot in the beginning. Like, you have to do what's best for you, and you need to reevaluate where your focus is. If this is what you want to do and this is what you want to be successful and good at, you just have to take that plunge and you have to do it. And you have to you have to be, what is the word I'm looking for, strict with yourself, I guess. When you make a schedule, you've got to stick to it. When you plan out times to work on your business and building your business, not just waiting for the clients to come to you, you have to do that religiously, multiple times a week, every single week, until you start seeing results. But just reevaluate where you're at right now, and if it's not the right fit, go and find that fit.
Yeah. And I say it too. I mean, it's hard in this business industry because what you do today, you don't get paid today, right? And I always say everything you do today will pay off 6 weeks from today, but that doesn't mean you're gonna get paid because that's gonna be another 6 weeks. I mean, you just have to, and like you mentioned, just run ahead financially as well. You need to plan that out. But here's the thing, once you get going, you're consistently going to have a paycheck coming in. It's just the very beginning and making sure you have a really good plan for that. So anyway, Gabby, I appreciate it. You are rocking it out now. A $1 million real estate agent, and so great job. I'm proud of you. Any last things before we hop off today?
If you are in the Kentucky, Louisville, or Indiana area, definitely consider Totally About Houses. But if not,
I didn't make you say that.
No, this is not being paid for this, by the way. Not sponsored. But yeah, just, everybody acts like this is either a really, really easy business or a really hard one, and it's absolutely whatever you want it to be. If you want it to be hard and you want to struggle through it, you can do that. Or it can be, easy enough if you put in the hard work and the time. So make this business is exactly what you make it.
Yeah. And as always, if you have any thoughts or comments, just leave comments. We'll definitely answer them. And we appreciate your time today. Now, Gabby, I know I appreciate your time. Go get your for sale sign, get your stuff, get your listing up, and have a great weekend.
Thank you. This is